Hello there, good evening, and a warm welcome to another episode of Business Focus here on TV3 with me, Michael Ogbodu. Coming up tonight on the show. The Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, throws its support behind the Abosokan Spare Parts Dealers Association's industrial action to enforce local trade laws against foreign retailers, as Ghanaian traders in retail space take matters into their own hands to enforce the GIPC Act, which prohibits non-citizens from engaging in petty trading and hawking. Tonight, we ask, are the local traders disappointed, and who enforces the GIPC Act? Details of this and more tonight on the show for you here on Business Focus. And we'll do our best also to engage the CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GIPC, to pick his thoughts as well on this subject matter. But every day, people face different emergencies: police emergency, fire emergency, medical emergency, you name it. But many Ghanaians don't know their emergency numbers. Well, here's one you would always want to remember: *770#. Yes, *770# is the new EcoBank money emergency number. *770# gives you instant access to loans, fund transfers, utility payments, airtime and data purchases, and so much more, even without data. So there's no need to panic when you find yourself in any money emergency. EcoBank will always come to your rescue. So dial *770# now for solutions to your money emergencies. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and proud sponsors of Business Focus, as well as Telecel. Before we delve into our conversation for today, we'll take you quickly through updates from the currency commodities market as well as the T-bill market. Stay with us as we walk you through all of that. Currently, the dollar will be bought from you at 12 cedis 4 pesos, sold to you at 12 cedis 6 pesos. The pound will be bought from you at 16 cedis 31 pesos, sold to you at 16.33. The euro will be bought from you at 14 cedis 15 pesos, sold to you at 14 cedis 17 pesos. But be guided that these figures will be much higher at a forex bureau near you. On the global commodity front, the price of cocoa is down by $212. It's trading at $7,259 per ton. Gold is up by $52.77. It's trading at $3,639 per ounce. But crude oil also is up just about $0.62. It's trading at $66.12 per barrel. Now, on the T-bills front, the 91-day bill is going for 10.42%, 182-day bill going for 12.41%, 364-day bill going for 12.97%. But we do know that the auction results show quite an uptick this time around, a move away from the usual trend of undersubscription from the government. This is Business Focus here on TV3 with me, Michael Ogbodu. We'll go for a quick breather. When we come back, settle in for our conversation for today. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is Business Focus here on TV3 with me, Michael Ogbodu. I just gone past was EcoBank tidbits on how to prepare for your pension. But every day people face different emergencies: police emergency, fire emergency, medical emergency, you name it. But many Ghanaians don't know their emergency numbers. Well, here's one you would want to remember: *770#. Yes, *770# is the new EcoBank money emergency number. *770# gives you instant access to loans, fund transfers, utility payments, airtime and data purchases, and so much more, even without data. So there's no need to panic when you find yourself in any money emergency. EcoBank will always come to your rescue. So dial *770# now for solutions to your money emergencies. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and proud sponsors of Business Focus, as well as Telecel. Well, so earlier today, the Abosokan Spare Parts Dealers Association began its enforcement exercise of the GIPC law. Well, in a move to enforce Ghana's trade laws, the Abosokan Spare Parts Dealers Association has shut down over 150 shops belonging to foreign nationals engaged in retail trading. The action, which began today, is a direct attempt to enforce the Ghana Investment Promotion Center GIPC Act 2013 Act 865, which reserves retail trading exclusively for Ghanaian citizens. Meanwhile, the Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, has thrown his support, full support behind the initiative. The GIPC Act, specifically Section 27(1), explicitly prohibits non-citizens from participating in petty trading, hawking, or operating market stalls. While some foreign traders complied with the order, there were some altercations during the enforcement exercise. The traders argue that the influx of foreign retailers is undermining local livelihoods and creating unfair competition. This action highlights a growing frustration among Ghanaian traders over what they perceive as a lack of government enforcement of existing laws. Well, joining us for the discussion today is Comrade Evaristus Chukuduro Nwankwo, President of the Nigerian Union of Traders Associations, Ghana, NUTAG. Joining us later will be Techi Ado, Director of Communications for the Abosokan Spare Parts Dealers Association. Louis Yaafo, International Trade Expert, will join us at some point, but we also have President of the Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, Joseph Obeng, joining us. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time and for joining us in studio. But before we come into the conversation, Papa, we'll listen briefly to some of the things that happened earlier today at Abosokan during the enforcement of this exercise.
We just want to yes, to have a dialogue. What is going on in the market? What the members of Abosokan are saying about the Nigerian market. Then after we saw the Masha, come on. We don't want to create a system. You understand? Masha, come on. Hey, come on. Give me a joke. Come out.
Please, if you comply, there will be peace.
No one has done that.
Very simple.
Don't let us talk here.
I'm ready to go anywhere you say I should come.
Yes.
So you bring the shop first. That's all. But what I want you to understand, when they say the Nigerian shop should close, this shop is not Nigerian. No, please don't bring that. Please don't bring that. You close first. They come and tell us it's not for you.
No, it's a simple thing. You are Ghanaian.
I called you.
No, you are Ghanaian.
Please, don't you put the person
you want to prolong this. No, listen. We are being lenient. Don't let us complicate things.
So if you are my wife now, I call you, I put in problem. Madam, if you are my wife now, I call you, I put in problem. If you are my wife now, I call you, I put in problem.
Yes, because come and tell us. You cannot use your mouth to tell us. Bring us papers. What shows?
What shows? Tell me what you want. I will bring you.
No,
my document. Yes, office.
So if you don't know
So those were some altercations earlier today at the Abosokan area where some shops of foreigners were closed down for breach of the GIPC Act that the Abosokan Spare Parts Dealers Association were enforcing. We have in studio now Dr. Joseph Obeng. He has thrown his weight behind the Abosokan Spare Parts Dealers Association. He's actually been a champion pushing this issue of enforcement of the GIPC law. Doc, thank you for joining us. We are back to this conversation again. Why can't we solve this thing once and for all?
I don't know whether it is the timidity of our leaders, but it's not fair. Nations are governed with laws. If you do not go rule by the law, then there's disorder, such as the one that you are showing. If care is not taken, serious things are going to show up very soon. You remember that the circuit people started, followed by the stationary printers and all that, and then Abosokan is following suit. What is going to emerge in Kumasi is going to be one of the worst that will be ever seen. If authorities are not working, because even enshrined in the Constitution is that we should, as citizens, make sure that the laws that government says are made to work. And that's why the Abosokan people are acting just upon the law. If you have laws, we have to use them. What was the essence of the law in the first place? If there's no need of the law, then just prescribe it or just cancel it from the laws. But if there's the need for it, then let's enforce it. It doesn't make sense that we have the law that is so clear. Now, we've been overtaken. About 60% of the market share have gone to the foreigners. You look at the China malls, the China towns, and what have you. Whilst they are expanding left, right, center, we are shrinking. And it doesn't cause any alarm for the authorities. We have the law, we have to enforce it. It's very unfortunate that we have to look on for the citizens to take actions. And people, we are going to declare the Destiny Day demonstration very soon. When that happens, nobody can control us. Because we are the governed, but it doesn't mean that we don't have a stake in governance. So whatever is there in the law, let's act upon it. Why are we shying away from enforcing the laws that have clearly been enacted in our laws? Why? Why are we shy of enforcing the laws? So I support any of our sectors. In fact, I've given the green light for them to embark on this journey. And we are going to make sure that we will close all the shops, not only the Nigerians and all that.
Yeah.
Normally we mention Nigeria because they form, they are numbers, most of the foreigners that we talk about.
But it's need to look as if they are the ones you're targeting.
No.
Because we haven't heard you going to, for instance, close up China mall
No,
shops.
you haven't seen it before. And you see, you just wait and see what will unfold. Because these China malls and all that is springing up, that's the reason why when we go to our workplace these days, we say that yentuadie. It's not because of the economy. Because it shouldn't be that one area is expanding of trading. They are expanding all the time and we are shrinking. Yeah, on Friday, we went on a formalization tour at Circle. And trust you me, Circle is 60% for Nigerians and 40% for the locals. Go there now. The soldier bar and all that. And they are there. It's not that they are trading within the laws. When it comes to the ECOWAS protocol, it's so clear that we have to trade among ourselves without any hindrances. No doubt about that. The Continental Free Trade Area also say the same. We should trade among ourselves without any hindrances.
Fair point.
But the underlying principle here is that we want to industrialize. We want to trade among ourselves the goods that are produced in our respective countries, so that we'll be able to industrialize.
It's surprising that you are mentioning industrialization when you as Guta have not made any effort to move into the industrialization fold. A problem that a lot of the trading AGI, for instance, has had with you.
I thank you for that.
Yes.
Let me tell you, the bulk of importation that comes into this country, the local share is barely 20%. The bulk of the total importation that comes to this country, about 80% is done by the manufacturers. So much as we want to migrate into manufacturing, these traders, foreign traders, are pulling us behind. And that's why manufacturing is not thriving in this country. And then we have the investment law to contain this excessive importation.
Okay.
And we are not doing that.
Fair point. Let me come to Comrade Evaristus Chukuduro Wanko. I hope I got your name right. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. What is the issue with your members complying with the GIPC Act? Because it is clear that hawking and retailing and the likes are exclusively the rights of Ghanaian traders.
Thank you very much for having me. This barrier will be here all over. And so my only comment on this is that we have a natural phenomenon here. And you can agree with me that in our subcontinent, or maybe in our continent, the economic condition is not friendly with our citizens, not only Ghanaians. And now that causes these migrations. People go to some other place, any place they think that they can be able to compete and start. And what in the first place that made us to come, we think about Ghana is because of the similarity in language, because even though we are not bordered physically, but that's the only country that we can call our neighbor around, very closer. So now people come in, and then in those days, of course, we used to, when this fight was very, very fierce, we used to quote the ECOWAS protocol. But nowadays, why we are silent on ECOWAS protocol is because you and I know that ECOWAS is not even, they are not forceful. ECOWAS are not forceful. And so, because if we go inside that place, we see something there that even encourages a Ghanaian, that makes those Ghanaians who are in Nigeria, or Ghanaians who are in Cote d'Ivoire, or Nigerians who are in Cote d'Ivoire in Ghana, to think that that country, they are members of the community. And so with that, now you come and juxtapose it with JIPC law. JIPC law is a local law in Ghana that protects the interests of the locals.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. But when we go further to look at this treaty, ECOWAS protocol on residence, movement, residence and establishment, you find out that it gives any other ECOWAS citizen some loophole, some leeway of doing business in another country. I believe that's why the government over time allow people to be doing business. But now, because of human factor, what we are saying, the foreigners have taking 60%. Because as for my friend, I don't know how my friend make this 60%, number data, because I really have to contest that. I don't think so. 60% Nigerian taking a circle.
Well, he said foreigners. At least he didn't say.
For circle, he says Nigerian.
In fact, I will even say that they are about 70%. Let's go there. You are just close to circle.
Circle is fine.
If you want, excuse me.
Okay.
If you want, let's go there tomorrow. I will lead your team to go around. And see, there one particular area that nobody speaks even tree there. Igbo language is predominantly there. I'm telling you, they are taking over and they don't have the right to be there. And they have to quit. I'm telling you. This thing, we've pampered this thing over too long. If they are here to trade in the goods that are produced in Nigeria, we don't have anything about it. You know the ETLS. Nigeria have restricted about 40-something products that shouldn't go to their country. Because, ECOWAS itself allows restriction measures. Continental Free Trade Area, they also give about 10% of your local goods that can be restricted. So restriction is allowed everywhere. And we have restricted a certain portion of our area. Why are we shying?
But why have you turned yourself into law enforcement agencies? Because it is not your...
It's our right. It's our constitutional right to make laws work.
Why aren't you rather giving pressure to
make law work? We elect leaders to come and rule us. If the law is not working, the mandate lies on us to make the law work.
Why not mount pressure on the enforcing authorities to do their jobs rather than taking it upon yourself?
Are you not in this country? How many times have you not done even task force and all that? It's not working. They are not thinking about us. And we have to take our own destiny into our hands. We are going to declare the Destiny Days demonstration. And mind you, nobody can put off the fire that will be ignited. I'm telling you, let's be careful about this thing. The China malls, China towns, and all that. In the time past, the printing press used to abound. The locals were able to do. That was one industry that everybody can do. You go to Malata here, you go to Asafo Market, you go to everywhere. The Brakas and all that. This time, the Chinese have overtaken it. The posters that you see for our bereaved people are all being printed. How on earth? Now,
but Mr. Obing, what you are
now they do even hawking. In the past, our mothers will go from house to house selling clothes and cooking utensils, and then they will mark you like the susu thing. They will come and say they give you on credit and pay. Now it's the Egyptians that come around the cooking utensils is the boot of their cars.
That brings me to my next question, because you see, you've mentioned Egyptians in this case. You've also spoken about Chinese. But it appears that every time you go up on your enforcement exercise, although apparently illegal, your target appears to be Nigerians. Don't you think that you are stoking xenophobic sentiments?
Oh, no, not at all, not at all. We are civilized, and we're doing everything with civility. Look at how the Nigerians were challenging the leadership of Abusuka. If I were there, I would have told them to manhandle him, take him off.
You cannot. We will not condone violence on this show. Respectfully. No. We will not condone violence here.
Please.
No.
Please.
You have to retract that. No, but you can't say, no, we will not be part of the violence. Please. Respectfully, you have to retract that. You're a statesman. Please.
Okay, if I were there, I would have made them, make him know that we are using the law for him to comply with, and you would have complied immediately.
But to be fair, if you listen, he spoke about the fact that his wife was Ghanaian.
And so he has to produce the legitimate documents, the length of time that he has been here, even the number of time, years that he has married. The laws are there.
I have personally...
his residence permits and all that. No. You see, this thing that you are doing is not that we don't understand certain things. Let me finish this.
Hold on.
So that
I'm the referee here.
Okay.
Hold on, please. I have personally covered these conversations for over the last couple of years. I have personally witnessed an experience where a man who was Nigerian provided evidence and proof of his citizenship alongside the fact that he was married to a Ghanaian, and yet his shop was closed down because your people say, even though he has that, he is Nigerian. So don't you think also that you are being heavy-handed?
No. Me, I'm very considerate. My brother knows of it. Anybody who qualifies, I said that once the person qualifies, otherwise the law is not working.
Okay.
You have to let the law work. But it's because they've lumped everything together and they are not monitoring. Then they presume that any person who is there. But if they have come and monitoring, and then they take out those who are not qualified and even leave, then they will know that because he has complied in a way. But because they don't do it at all, when the locals take it upon themselves, then there's no answer or whatever. Okay. And that shouldn't be blamed upon us. You know, this thing is multifaceted. The GIPC is one enforcement team, Foreign Affairs itself, Immigration Service, Ministry of Interior, and all that. The Trade Ministry. Even those people, because it is law that these people do not qualify. So even the landowners who have been giving their lands to these people are also corporate of the law. And that's the rent control and all that comes in. So it's a multifaceted area that a government or authorities have to come in and direct people to do the right thing.
Okay. A very passionate Dr. Joseph for being on the issues right here. But Comrade Wanko, one of the issues that have come up is the fact that the Ghanaian traders feel that the competition is unfair. Nigerian traders, for instance, or foreign traders, for instance, have access to cheaper credit. So they are not able to compete because you priced lower than them. What's your response to that?
Now you have brought another dimension to it, cheaper credit. I don't know about cheaper credit in Nigeria. I don't know about that.
Compared to Ghana?
Compared to Ghana, I don't know about that. Because I don't even know whether the credit exists at all for these traders.
So what makes...
Because since I came to Ghana, I've never received any credit. The facility is not even there at all for us to receive. So when you talk of governance, when you talk about these issues, like I think I can, you know, understand my friend. The government of not just Ghana, because the reason why we are doing all this, if the governance is government are working everywhere, do you understand? Even the ECOWAS will be straightforward. Everybody will know where your boundaries, where you stop. But the thing is that the whole thing is that the leaders don't even care, and so now even we. At the level we are, on the ground where we are, when we start this thing and then you see some of the people who are doing this at Abasoka, they're all friends. They know each other. Now, because of the suffocating effect of the economic crunch on the people, they are embark on this thing.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can understand, you can bear with the traders, local traders. But what I've been saying, If you monitor, if you watch my speech, when this thing started 2007, I've always been a humanitarian on it. Let's look at a way that we can solve this matter without making anybody to suffer too much. Some people have to suffer.
You are talking about.
I like the way you guys fight one moment and you agree in the next moment. But you hold on. Okay. I have joining us via Zoom Luis Afo. He's an international trade expert at the AFCFTA Policy Network. Luis, thank you so much for your time. An interesting situation we have here, especially for a country that hosts the AFCFTA, that basically is looking to champion free trade across the continent. What do you make of this development that we are facing here? Calls from local business for the enforcement of the GIPC law.
Good evening, and good evening to your viewers, and good evening to your panelists. First of all, I want to come in from the perspective you asked. The GIPC law is not targeting Nigerians. The GIPC law is seeking to, I earlier heard one of the, I think the Nigerian rep saying that GIPC law is for Ghanaians. No. The GIPC law is our investment law, which is international. However, the GIPC law is going through an amendment process. That amendment process seeks to overhaul certain things. We have had this cyclical issue for all over the years. And the reason being that our authorities have really failed in the past to really work it out. And this is why. There has been a difficulty in classifying what constitutes investment and what constitutes trade. There is a thin line between trade and investment. However, it is the laws that will help us to classify what is trade and what is investment. If it is if it's investment, there is a threshold. And that threshold was what we had, the 1 million Ghana cedis and $250,000 and beyond. Now, when it comes to classification of trade, the Registrar General, I've always said, the Registrar General received the definition of what constitutes trade from GIPC. So if GIPC defines trade as this, that, this, it is important to really communicate this to the trade associations, communicate this to trade industries. Secondly, another issue you have to look at is that the GIPC, at the 13, what is causing this issue is that petty trade. The issue is about petty trade, where there are certain industry area that is akin only to the indigenes of the country. If you go to Nigeria, yes, Nigeria has Act 79. At 79, that article bars foreigners from engaging in local content or what is domestic for petty trade. They also have that law. Within ECOWAS, it gives a free movement of people, settlement, and then the right to do business. However, it is important for us to add that in going to one ECOWAS country, you need to know the laws, what bars you from entering into petty trade, so that you will know the various classifications. This is where GIPC have to do a lot of advocacy. GIPC has been very powerless because originally they are now really seeking the amendment which will make them an authority. So currently they are powerless. However, I'm sure that after they finish the amendment and they are granted an authority still at the Ghana Investment Promotion Authority, they will have a certain level of power to really implement things. If you look at it from the perspective of the AFCFTA did not come to erase or erode any of the rest of the building blocks or the regional economic blocks. No. What the AFCFTA guarantees, and I heard Dr. B saying, is that in terms of products and services make up industries. So in terms of certain products, the AFCFTA and the members themselves have agreed that there is a 10% which includes sensitive products and exclusive product. The sensitive product are product that the members have agreed that, okay, this area It's for domestic purpose. It's to protect domestic market. So I will not go in or trade in that area, because that will means that you are violating their liberalization. They have not liberalized. The 3% is, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not ready to trade. I'm not ready to liberalize it. If you bring goods in, I'm not ready to accept it. I'm not ready for it. All those, that 10% is to safeguard domestic markets, domestic industry, and all of them are aware. In fact, David, the most
just to come in,
thing is that
quick one. But the international law and observation of treaties says that a party may not invoke the provisions of its internal law as justification for its failure to perform a treaty. Then how do you situate that in the case of where we have ECOWAS law and the AFCFTA? That's promoting free trade amongst ourselves. And shouldn't we also be worried as a country that this keeps coming up, especially for us that host the AFCFTA, that we are beginning to look anti-trade, especially within the sub-region?
No, we don't let us mix the two.
Okay.
Don't let's mix the after is a regional economic bloc, and countries ratify, and they have what we call submission of concessions or schedules. ECOWAS as one bloc went in to after with about 5,000 products. In other words, we went in as one bloc with similar products. I emphasize similar products. That is different. GIPC law focuses on investment. Under ASCFTA, we have investment laws, or what we call the protocol on investment, that promotes Pan-African investment. And inside that protocol for investment under ASCFTA, the preamble states clearly that whatever that state parties will do, it will not supersede the national interest of that country. Okay. So what it means is that whatever that GIPC is doing, even though it's not going to, it should not be contrary against what the countries have ratified. However, if there is any activity that is going to overshadow the national interest of that country, ASCFTA does not have anything against such kind of move. Let me conclude by saying that it is this which is creating the issue. So Ghana being the headquarters, Ghana is not treading on wrong grounds. What rather we need to do is that we need to do more advocacy. GIPC, Minister of Trade, needs to meet a lot of this. And I want to say that before the previous government, under the previous government, there was a committee that was set up. And there's a task force that has been set between Nigerian traders and then Ghanaian traders and then ECOWAS. And that task force has been mandated. Dr. Obi knows it. That task force is mandated to work this out. Unfortunately, their recommendations have not been really fully implemented.
Fair point. Thank you so much, Louis.
Trading is clearly defined here. And
Dr. Obing has been nodding since you've been speaking. It looks like he agrees with a lot of things that you've been saying. But clearly, Doc,
don't be shy calling me by my title. It's a title, so you shouldn't feel shy.
Fair point. Now,
it's a legitimate title.
From the look of things, it appears that there has to be some level of policy congruence, especially across the various government institutions, because it looks like if the metropolitan assemblies were working, the trade ministry and the likes were working and enforcing the law, we won't be where we are.
Exactly. And that's what we've been talking about, that if they were doing this, now nobody is even going to read any xenophobic tendencies in what we are doing, because then the law enforcement is doing, and then the foreigners even know their boundaries, as my brother was talking about.
Fair point.
But then if you leave the whole thing to go the way it is going, while the law is there, if the law is not good and you don't like the law, then prescribe it and take it out.
That's fine.
It doesn't make sense.
So we are hoping...
let me define, because there's a clear definition of trading here.
Doc, I have to go.
It just, you said that for the purpose of this session, trading includes the purchasing and selling of imported goods and services. It's so clear. There's no ambiguity about this.
Point well noted.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Joseph Obey, President of the Ghana Union of Traders Associations. Mr. Wankwo, you have the final say. What's the way going forward? And especially, what's your admonition to your members? Because it looks like Guta and his members are not backing down on this. And we need to make sure that everybody is safe too.
Yeah. My final word would be that I want to urge our brothers, the family, Guta family, to tone down. One, yes, you pressure government to do something, the key word there is patient. You don't take law into your hands. What happened at Abasoka, I know, we were informed about the exercise earlier on. And we thought that when they go about it, there will be no, but people have different temperaments. A lot of people have taken this matter so deep that sometimes they want to fight. They want to even give up their own life for this. So there's no need for this. Because at the end of the day, we still remain who we are, human beings. Because we were here before the Ghana started answering Ghana and Nigeria started answering Nigeria. We are brothers. So even if we want to do something like the man said, let there be an enlightenment, let there be an advocacy, and let people understand what they're supposed to do. So that we don't do any rofo-rofo. My people call it rofo-rofo. That's fight. There will be no fight.
Thank you.
Because like Doc was saying, I want to plead with Doc that he was mentioning something about Kumasi. I want to plead with him to also let nobody cause any fire. Because if when fire meets human being, it will burn. Yeah. And our bodies and fire are not. I
know one country in West Africa. In this case, in this particular case, that would have.
Let's not go there.
Okay. Let me finish.
You're a statesman. Stay in the suit. Stay in your suit.
And now I'm a statesman. So that's why I'm going down. But let me tell you, the ECOWAS Parliament have ruled on this issue, and then they say that Ghana have its right.
Okay.
The former Attorney General Brew, Mrs. Brew.
You see, when I said you should come in studio today, you didn't want to come. You see, now you don't want me to go on break. I have to take that break.
You see that Nigeria closed their shops under the rules of origin. Okay. They say that one is not able to send rice because we do not produce the rice here.
That's fine.
And
we need to go on break.
Unable to send it to their country.
This is still Business Focus here on TV3. I had in studio with me Comrade Evaristus Chukuduro Nwankwo, President of the Nigeria Union of Traders Association of Ghana, Joseph Obeng, President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, also Louis Yao Afo, International Trade Expert at the After Policy Network. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll situate the conversation now with the CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GIPC, Simon Maggi, on where they stand with all of this. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is Business Focus here on TV3 with me, Michael Ogbodu. Joining us in studio now is the CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GIPC, soon to become the Ghana Investment Promotion Authority. Chief, thank you so much for your time. You've seen a lot of tempest flare today, and people like Guta, Doc, you're not saying anything for now, are not happy about the fact that you are not enforcing the law. Where do you sit with this?
All right. Thank you, and good evening to all our viewers. Doc, it's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you,
the issue is not just about enforcement of our laws. The issue is about understanding what actually is happening in the markets. And as of Friday, I had opportunity of meeting with Doc and the GUTAC team, where we discussed some of the things that we needed to do. One, to understand what was happening in the market, and then two, to really know who is doing what, and then with that, we'll be able to take the right decisions. We came to some conclusions. I am here to brief the Honorable Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry on the way forward. But what I would say is that from what I've seen or heard, I would urge calm. I think that we are all neighbors. We've been in this business for a long time. This is not a time for us to really lose control of ourselves and attack people in their markets, because that is not what Ghana stands for. We know that there are some pain points, but rest assured, His Excellency the President and the Minister of Trade and Government are working hard around the clock to resolve some of these issues and to make sure that Ghana benefits as well as our neighbors also benefit. So that's what I'll say for now.
And does the GIPC plan on beginning to enforce the law?
Well, the question is not about whether the GIPC plans to enforce the law or not. The GIPC is but one entity. The entire enforcement is not just about government. It's also about GUTA. It's also about Ghanaians And so what we plan on doing is to speak about it, to actually state the session, to educate people, because what we've realized is that there is limited education on the areas reserved for Ghanaians. You know, once we all understand that these are the areas reserved for Ghanaians and we are well educated on that, then it's much easier to enforce it. Now, many people do not know. So we are all living in some kind of limbo where there's always disagreements. But these are clear in the law. And that's what government has been doing. That's what we have done, working through our mother ministry, the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. And like the previous speaker said, indeed, there's a retail committee. The minister is working around the clock to revive that so that we can have conversations around the table how to handle some of these issues. It's important for us. We don't want to be seen, you know, as a country that is not welcoming, but we are also mindful of the economic activity and of the areas reserved for Ghanaians as well. So it's a balancing act for the government, and you can trust His Excellency and the Trade Minister to take care of that.
It's quite concerned that this is coming up, especially when a few weeks ago you were globetrotting, trying to raise investments to the country. Well,
I mean, look, even if we are going to raise investment, all investment laws will have areas that are reserved for the citizens of the country. And so His Excellency the President, in his speech around the world, really did understand that some areas will be reserved for our people. He was speaking about us driving investment into areas that are open for everyone to compete in, like in technology, commercial farming, agro-processing, manufacturing, AI. So those were the areas that His Excellency the President was focused on speaking about. The retail component, yes, we do anticipate that there will be investment in retail, but it ought to be in the upscale retail market where there would be or there are minimum capital requirements that must be met. But there are also areas that I've said that are reserved for Ghanaians, like selling in the markets, petty trading, hawking, you know, printing of some stationery, retail of pharmaceutical products. All these are areas that are reserved for Ghanaians in the law. And so I, you know, as government, His Excellency the President does not intend to vary all this to the detriment of the Ghanaian. And that's the assurance that we want to give to our friends in Guta. I was with Guta on Friday. I mean, I met with the leadership of Guta on Friday, and we went to the market. I think that, you know, education is important. All of us, you being the media, Guta, we are GIPC, Foreign Affairs, our mother body, the Ministry of Trade and Agribusiness and Industry, we must all get involved to educate the Ghanaian on areas that are reserved for Ghanaians and then areas where, you know, partners can go in or foreign businesses can go in. And then that will come to some kind of agreement or arrangement which will, you know, quiet some of these disturbances. But I must say that I really want our people to know that, look, taking the law into your hands is not what we stand for. So we urge we urge our friends at Guta to see us as people that really want to engage, and we want to resolve the issue. But we cannot resolve the issue by visiting disturbances and mayhem on people who are trading. And so I'm happy that my uncle, Dr. Bin, is here.
And listening.
So that together we can all find it. We are ready to listen. I went into the market with them, so I understand some of the issues.
And you saw the
I mean, I know what is happening. So we plan to carry out the awareness and education across, so that, and we also want the media to really help us in really educating our folks about what they can do and what they cannot do.
You succeeded in calming Dr. Bing, at least for the moment. But then we understand that your act is going under some review and you're going to become an authority.
Yes.
What are some of the key amendments that this new act would reflect?
So the goal of His Excellency the President is to position Ghana as a favorable place to do business. If you go through the history of the GIPC Act from 1994 and into 2013, it was President Mahama who actually reviewed the law in 2013. I remember working with Dr. Bing then as we went through. Our goal is to not just position ourselves as the place to do business, but also as one of the countries that is really forward-looking in terms of attracting investment. So this law is aimed at strengthening our institution, which is the GIPC, to be able to deal with issues that had to do with investor grievances. Sometimes there are disputes, so that's one of them. To also have a national investment registry where we can, look at all the investments that are in country to deal with the many issues that affect investors before they even become big national issues for us to deal with.
It looks like we have to bring you back so that we do an extensive conversation on the review. Dr. Obing, to those who are watching you now, what's your pledge to stick to peace? Finally.
I just want to ask my brother a simple question.
Dr. Obing.
Is the law relevant? The act that established that law, is it relevant? Is it necessary that we have to enact such a law in that act?
Well, the framers of the law appreciate that there ought to be areas reserved for Ghanaians. So the law is always relevant. Yeah. Yes.
So if it is...
Dr. Obing, I'm the host today. You've asked one. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
So my brothers out there, you know that the law is in our favor.
Okay.
The framers, the spirit and letter of that law is to protect some place for us.
Thank you, Dr. Obing.
So whatever thing that we do to protect it, we haven't gone out of the law.
Doc, thank you so much.
We have to be able to do it.
That will be all for today's edition of Business Focus here on TV3 with me, Michael Ogbodu. Earlier in studio, we had just in studio with us Simon Maji, CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. Also with us is Dr. Joseph Obing, President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. Good. Doctor, calm down. Catch you same time next week. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay safe.
Business Focus is brought to you by EcoBank, Telecel,